I'm actually in a work shirt for this one, or a shirt I wear to work. I've been off for the last... I'm always off on the weekends. I'm off today and tomorrow, Tuesday. But I figured I'd do a vlog in a regular shirt instead of a pocket tee. Anyway. I've been watching videos lately, and there's one video I saw where someone has a scar based on a surgery they had that I didn't delve too much into what it was, because I know when I was growing up and people asked me about things that I had done, I didn't want to talk about it, or I didn't know how to. But this video is about scars. I don't know if you can see it, but I've got one right up in here. And I'm going to tell you a story about it. See, I'm the kind of guy that, not to oversimplify things, but I like scars because, well, it sounds weird to say I like them, but with every surgery I've had or every scar I've had, there's a story. Some scars can tell stories of overcoming, and some scars can tell stories of pain, and some scars are scars we don't see because they're emotional and no one knows about them, but we have them. Now to get to the scar up here. I was in college about, literally 20 years ago now, and I was a big energy conservationist back then, and there was a light on in the bathroom. So I went in one of the residence hall bathrooms. I went to turn it off, and sure enough, as I turned it off, I clocked my head right on the door, or on the door casing inside the shower, or into the shower. And I remember army crawling all the way to the front desk in the hall going, I think I need an ambulance. And I went to the hospital and got 11 stitches on the surface and 4 underneath. And I remember I went to my speech class that very same day, and I had a bandage on my head that I looked like I was wearing a freaking maxi pad. Sorry if that's gross. The bandage was wide, and it was just huge and thick. It looked gross. And my speech teacher just looked at me. I remember it because it was the day of my speech final. He said, you don't have to take this test if you don't want to. You got an A in the class anyway. It won't make a difference. I'm like, no. But he was snickering at me all the while going, you kind of got a maxi... I'm like, I know. Shut up. And what I don't like about my life is I feel like I oversimplify injuries one has and how they're easy to overcome. Some aren't, and some are. It depends on if you let a scar define who you are or how you look. I mean, don't get me wrong either, if it's a life-altering scar that you can't have surgery to get fixed, if it's something that plastic surgery wouldn't cure, and that's bothersome, for lack of a better word. I don't want to say shaming, but some people are ashamed of their scars and appearances. But I always think, when I told people about this scar when it started to, heal, and the guy did a great stitch job, I remember it, because you couldn't hardly even tell I have a scar there. I can tell, but that's because I remember what the incident was that caused it. I guess what this video is trying to say is what a lot of my videos try and say, and is that I hope if you have a scar, whether it's physical or emotional or psychological, that you give it the parameters it needs, give it the definition that you give it, but don't let it define who you are. Because as you all know with me, even though it's not always this easy, I don't let my disability define me anymore. I don't let other people's opinions define me anymore, because then I surrender my power. And if you've been beat up on enough for how you look, or how you sound, or what you say, in some ways, you're scarred enough. And some of that's not easy to get over. But take it from me. You can do it over time. It may hurt for a while. But for what it's worth, if you have scars and you're watching this right now, I believe in you. I may not have walked your walk with you, but I do my best to understand.